So with the lunch break out of the way, we are about to get things going here for the second and final day of competition for round 2 of the 2020 BNL Karting Series season, being held here at Karting Genk. So all races today will take place over a duration of 13 minutes plus an additional lap, and with the sunshine now finally beaming down on the circuit, a welcome sight after the deluge of rain we had yesterday. Here is your lineup for the pre-final on day 2 for Micromax. So following on from qualification, Mies Huben in the number 8 representing the Netherlands will start on pole position, and alongside will be another Dutch driver in the form of Max Swiderski in the number 19. Third place will be the number 31 of Jake Menton, who will have Mats van Rooyen in the number 3 alongside for company, with Jens Moonen, the sole Belgian, in the number 10, being the 5th and last driver to start on the grid. Boaz Maximov unfortunately had to withdraw from the event and will not take any further part in the proceedings for the penultimate round of the season, as is the drivers now trying to get themselves ready. The track very, very dry, and slick tyres are order of the day here. We saw the track evolve quite significantly over the senior Rotax and DD2 and DD2 Masters qualifying sessions this morning before the lunch break. We now go on to the formation lap. So at the moment, in terms of victories this season, it has been 4 to Max Swiderski and 2 to Mies Huben. The championship getting ever closer in terms of the standings between the top 2 drivers, with Max Swiderski leading the standings at the moment. Previous driver to win this title last year, if memory serves me correctly, was Tommy van der Stroys from the Netherlands, who then jumped up juniors for 2020 and pretty much did a repeat of what Max Swiderski did in the first round of the season last year, and took 4 victories on the way to the top step of the rostrum. As the official ceremony, barring any stoppages or any delays, will be at 4:30 p.m. That's 16:30 hours Central European Summer Time. All drivers, when they are called, will need to be at the podium in their race suits with their race helmets, and mandatorily wearing their face masks under the current COVID-19 stricter regulations that have been brought into force for this weekend. And the Micromax drivers are now trundling their way rather slowly towards turn number 10. So once again, your lineup will be Mies Huben on pole position in the number 8. Max Swiderski in the number 19 alongside. Jake Menton in the number 31 rounding out the top 3. Alongside will be the number 3 of Mats van Rooyen, with Jens Moonen completing the 5-strong order that will go into battle in just a few seconds' time, as they now make their way through turn number 11. So Swiderski might be able to get a little bit more of a counter-attack towards Mies Huben today over the course of the 2 finals. The wind has picked up, and I've noticed that going through between turn 6 and 7 down the Europalaan, that they will have to encounter a headwind. And even with a slipstream opportunity down the back straightaway, it will be tough to try and outbrake your opponent going into the inside of turn 7. Right then, into the tram lines we go. They bury the accelerators to the floor, and it is lights out. They are off and racing for the first time today. Huben gets a great start, as does Jake Menton, who tries to get past Max Swiderski in the initial throws going into turns 1 and 2, but Swiderski gets back past. Van Rooyen uses the runoff area through turn 2 for the first time. You can use that on the first lap and only on the first lap. After that, that will be considered track limits in terms of the circuit here, as the drivers now make their way down the Europalaan between turn 6 and 7, and a little bump from behind from Swiderski on Mies Huben as they go through turn 7. The 2 leaders line astern, Huben leading the way. Swiderski just behind as they exit turn number 8 into the left at 9. And now the short blast down to the right-hand sweeper at turn 10. Swiderski very close as Menton going side by side up the inside of Van Rooyen into turn 10 to take P3 for the minute. Sadurski not letting Huben breathe as Menton tries to go one way to defend against Van Rooyen, who goes back up the inside, and the pair clash going through the apex of turn 12. There's another bump from behind on Huben from Sadurski as they cross the line. The pair were 89 thousandths apart, coming across the line to complete lap number 1. Sadurski now has to bide that time, wait for the opportunity to get past, and Sadurski has set the fastest lap of anybody, a 1 minute 6.925. The time's really tumbling as the sunshine really we are welcoming with open arms here, including all of the drivers, the teams, the mechanics, and all the marshalling crew and the staff here at Karting Genk. Into turn 7 go the two leaders. You cannot pull them apart at the moment. So slightly differing lines between Mies Huben and Max Sadurski as they come down out of turn 9 down towards turn 10. Sadurski just keeping pace, and what he's doing from a strategic point of view is letting Mies Huben do all the hard work, and that was very much the case in the pre-final yesterday. So round the final corner they come to complete lap number 2. Another bump from behind. Max Sadurski has just got to keep an eye on that, because if that bumper gets pushed in any further, there could be a 5-second penalty post-race coming the number 19's way. They now head through the left-hander at turn 3 for the next two left-handers at 4, up into 5 before the right-hand hairpin at 6 that brings them onto the Europalan. Sadurski was 83 thousandths off of Mies Huben, and last time the pair were within 6 thousandths of a second of each other in terms of lap time, but Sadurski still holds the fastest lap. Mats van Rooyen has cantered away from Jake Menton, who looks to have made a slight error on that previous lap, a 1 minute 6.4 from the number 31 from the Netherlands. Mats van Rooyen was on a 1 minute 4.7. 10 minutes to go plus an additional lap here in the pre-final on day 2 for Micromax, and it has been even Stevens so far between the top two. Huben still continuing to lead as we now go on to the end of lap 3 and on to lap 4. Huben and Sadurski both getting the head down. Sadurski making, as I said earlier, Huben do all the hard work. 73 thousandths between the pair as they cross the line after the completion of lap number 3. Two leaders now make their way through turns 4 and 5. So Sadurski, I definitely will know for a fact, will want to get back onto winning ways and get 25 points on the board. So it's 25 for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13th for fourth, 13 for fourth, and 11 for fifth, before it counts down from 10 to 1 for the remainder of the competitors. So all drivers will score in the pre-final today, as again the two leaders come through turn number 10 into the left at 11. And now Sadurski again literally bump drafting Mies Huben going through into turn number 12. Around the final corner they come once again, straight into the slipstream goes Sadurski. 73 thousandths again, that was exactly the same gap as we had last time around on the completion of lap number 3. We're on to lap 5. And the times are dropping spectacularly between the two leaders, and it was 10 thousandths between the pair. Sadurski still has the fastest lap, a 1 minute 3.730, as Mies Huben runs a little bit wide coming out of turn 6, but then slots back in front of Sadurski down the Europalan heading into turn 7. And you can see that slightly different styles of driving between the two. Sadurski seems to employ a kind of leaning tactic, especially through turn 8, leaning as far as possible over to the left-hand side, and that's going to help the left-hand side of the car actually to bite and get a bit of traction. And they are well over 3.3 seconds ahead of Mats van Rooyen, who is behind, and all 5 drivers, including Menton and Moonen, are setting fastest lap times. The leaders cross the stripe once again. 75 thousandths between the pair. It has not gone higher than 75 thousandths between first and second position in terms of the differential, because they are literally battling, and neither of them has shown the cards that they have decided to hold close to their chest. And it is about the one that blinks first. Who is the one that is going to pull the pin on the grenade and throw it and make sure that that move sticks? Well, Swiderski is the one that is really keeping Mies Huben under pressure, and you can just tell that Mies Huben is not looking back that often. What Huben is doing is just looking forward and trying to do the job at hand. So through into the right-hander at turn 10, into 11. Still very much undecided as Swiderski still on the rear bumper of Mies Huben. They come across the line once again. We're going to go on to what is the completion of lap 6, on to lap 7. 6 minutes and 30 seconds still to go, plus an additional lap. This is an absolutely relentless pace by the two leaders. They just ran a 1 minute, it was 1/1000th between the pair. So Mies Huben was on a 1 minute 3.832. Max Swiderski a 1 minute 3.833. You cannot separate these two no matter how hard you try. As they go down the back straightaway down into turn 7. And I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening between the gap, well, with the gap between Max Swiderski and also the number 3 of Mats van Rooyen. And Van Rooyen has now got 2.6 seconds as now Swiderski goes for the lead up the inside of turn 10. Nicely done by the 19. And this is where the real cat and mouse games begin. It's about who's going to make that decision first, and Swiderski has decided, well, I've spent nearly 8 minutes behind Mies Huben, I want to get in front. And now we have a change of lead after 7 laps in the books. Swiderski now crossed the line and had over a 2.5 of a second advantage over Mies Huben. Lead is now going through into turn number 4, into 5, then into the right at 6. And now Swiderski is starting to break away ever so slightly from Mies Huben, but it's not by much. Probably about 4 to 5 kart lengths between the pair as Swiderski leads the way, going through into turn number 9. Through into the right at 10, once again we go on lap number 8 of this race. Very shortly the two leaders will cross the start-finish line. The gap between now Mies Huben and Mats van Rooyen in third place is just over 2.35 seconds. Lap 8 completed, and let's have a look at the gap between Huben and also Van Rooyen. 2.4 seconds, and the quickest out of the trio in front was Swiderski, a 1 minute 3.8, a 1 minute 3.919 for Mies Huben. Mats van Rooyen a 1 minute 3.975. So the slowest of the trio, as Jente Moonen in the number 10 sets a personal best of the race so far, a 1 minute 5.294, and has steadily improved over the course of the race weekend. And so that is nearly a gain of just under 0.6 of a second over the last 3 laps completed for the young Belgian. So Mies Huben now looking to counter-attack a couple of laps after Max Swiderski took the lead. The gap between the pair last time around was just over 0.37 seconds. Round the final corner they come, completing lap number 9. 0.148, so Mies Huben has just taken over 0.2 of a second out of Max Swiderski on that last lap. Make that 0.23 seconds on that particular lap alone. A 1 minute 3.663 for Mies Huben, a 1 minute 3.893 for Max Swiderski. 3 minutes still to go in the pre-final on day 2 here at Karting Genk. And Max Swiderski, after a few moments ago taking the lead from Mies Huben, about 3 minutes ago that transpired. So they come out of turn 9. Through into the right at 10 once again. Mies Huben once again looks close on the back of Max Swiderski as Jake Menton comes through turn number 9. Down towards the short blast towards the turn right at turn 10 right-hand sweeper. Swiderski takes a quick glance over the right-hand shoulder and does so again 2/10 separate the two leaders. And Swiderski last time around did a 1 minute 3.489. A 1 minute 3.543 for Mies Hooben. And Hooben gets very, very close into the braking zone and into the apex of turn 6. That puts him onto the back straightaway. Through into turn 7 once again. The gap looks to be around 2 to 3 kart lengths coming out of turn 3, but then Mies Hooben closes up through turn 9. And then the run down to turn 10 once again. 1 minute and 30 seconds plus an additional lap remain. And with a 1 minute 3 second lap pace that the two leaders are setting, and that's in the mid 1 minute 3s. So a few more laps completed. Lap number 11 done and dusted, and Max Swiderski has now opened up the gap to just over 0.3 of a second. So it will be very, very close indeed as to whether at the end of lap 12 will Swiderski cross the line with a couple of seconds to spare to put a further lap on here in the Micromax pre-final on day 2. And the gap between Mies Hooben and Mats van Rooyen has now extended to just under 3.1 seconds in the latter stages. So the blistering pace of Swiderski and Hooben have not allowed Mats van Rooyen to try and close that gap. And Max Swiderski was just under 0.17 away from the fastest lap of the race, which was set back on the completion of lap number 4. 11 seconds on the clock as Swiderski crosses the line to complete lap number 12. So we'll have this plus one additional lap, a total of 14 laps. So timer has now expired, 13 minutes completed here in the Micromax pre-final on day number 2. And Max Swiderski now starting to fight back against Mies Hooben in the number 8 from GKS Lemons Power. And the gap between Swiderski and Hooben at the completion of lap number 12 was nearly half a second. So Swiderski getting the head down, not really looking back that much unless he can sense that Mies Hooben will be behind. Last lap board now will come out as Max Swiderski powers out of the final corner. Last lap for the pre-final here in Micromax. Swiderski's lead now extends to over 7.5 of a second. So on to the 14th and final lap we go. A 1 minute 3.265 for Swiderski, who has been running in the 1 minute 3.2s and the 1 minute 3.3s over the past 3 laps, and that pace is just showcasing as he now takes a glance over his right shoulder coming out of turn number 6 into 7 for the final time. So it's been a very, very good performance by both Swiderski and Mies Hooben. I have to give them credit for the way that they composed themselves in the first few moments of the race, around about till about 5 minutes 30. But the checkered flag now being prepared to wave for the first time today. And it is the number 19 of the Netherlands, Max Swiderski, who takes a 5th victory this season by a comfortable margin of over 1.1 seconds over our double winner from yesterday, the number 8 of Mies Hooben, also from the Netherlands. Mats van Rooyen rounds out the top 3, 4.425 seconds behind the eventual winner, Max Swiderski. Jake Menton takes 4th place in the number 31, as Jent Thimoonen from Belgium will now cross the line, last but by no means least, in 5th place. So Max Swiderski makes sure that Mies Hooben does not have an opportunity to do a clean sweep for the weekend. Oh no, the 19 has got the job done. So Swiderski wins ahead of Hooben, Van Rooyen in 3rd, Jake Menton in 4th, with Jent Thimoonen rounding out the top 5 places.